This podcast is rated ES for extremely silly and may contain bad words, bad jokes, and other bad content that is not suitable for children. Or maybe it is. We don't know. We're not their parents. You're listening to the Starforge podcast with Scya and Mal, two nerds who have a lot to say about Star Wars: The Old Republic and all its features. Rest assured, the podcast is working as intended. This is episode 3. You get what you pay for. Hello, SWTOR players. I am Mal.
Hey there, I'm Scya. So nice to have you here again on our wonderful, wonderful episode 3 podcast.
So Scya, what's new? What's been going on?
I've been having some absolute cravings, Mal. I think I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant for operations. I don't know why. I went to go sit down and play the other day, like not to make anything, just to go play. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to do anything except run group content right now, and I don't have time to run a whole operation. But I just shut down the computer. I was like, it's ops or nothing in this very moment, and I feel like I'm going to feel that way for a while now.
You got the cravings for the operations. All right.
Something else was pregnant, though, in my house today. That wasn't me for operations.
Is it your turtle?
I had a dream my tortoise was pregnant, and it had a bunch of tortoise babies, but they were all grown-ups. It was adorable. No, but there was something not adorable that was pregnant. I went into the bathroom today, and a spider had a bunch of little spider babies. Oh my God. I did not want anything to do with any of those.
You have a bathroom spider. Now you have too many bathroom spiders.
So take some back. We don't want all these.
Too many.
One or two is okay. Not a whole cadre. I felt bad. I felt bad. I couldn't see their mom. I like wiped them up and put them down the toilet, and their mom's gonna come back and be like, "Where's my babies?"
You're a monster.
I am.
Oh my God. All right. Well, aside from the spider genocide in your bathroom, Scya. Oh, God. All right. Well, so here's the thing that I saw. I saw this on the street, and we can even include the picture of this thing in the show notes for the show. What I saw was outside a cafe by my house, sitting by a tree, was a very old TV, one of the CRT TVs, and on the front of it was spray painted, "Only Jesus."
Like the words "Only Jesus" or a picture of Jesus?
No, it just said "Only Jesus," the words.
No TV, only Jesus. And what did you take out of that?
Well, I don't know. I just kept walking, and the TV disappeared for a while. And then today I was out walking, and I saw it again. It was back up in somebody's lawn. I guess the trash people didn't take it, and I guess Jesus didn't come for his TV.
Wait, did it still have the message on there?
Yes, it still said "Only Jesus."
Well, that's why they didn't want it. That's why they didn't want it, because who wants to watch a TV with only Jesus staring down at them 24/7? How are you supposed to watch The Simpsons?
This TV plays "Only Jesus," or it is only for Jesus to pick up. And I guess Jesus said, "Fuck it, I don't want this TV."
You can keep it. Sorry, guys. We did both get to see something cool on TV recently. We both got a chance to watch at least a little bit of Star Wars Visions. We'll be talking about that later. But something we're not so disappointed in is our next segment.
Disappointing other people.
In our next segment, we're going to be talking about free-to-play and preferred and what they have available when it comes to group content. As you guys might know, subscribers have access to absolutely everything, but it's a little complicated if you're free-to-play and preferred. And me and Mal have a bunch of stuff to discuss on whether that's fair and what type of options they actually have available.
So, Scya, I have always been a subscriber, and when I was not a subscriber, I was just unsubbed and not playing at all. So as far as free-to-play and preferred go, I don't really have any idea. The only thing I do know is that my husband unsubbed, and during Galactic Seasons, if I was doing war zones on a lobby, he would come and join because he said, "Oh, I've got X amount of war zones in a week that I can do," just as he must have been preferred because we were both very long time subscribers.
Yeah, when we were originally talking about this topic, you actually had a lot of misconceptions. You said, "Can't free to play do everything except operations?" And it sounds like since then you've discovered some of the wonderful, wonderful restrictions that aren't too bad because your husband seemed to have figured out how to get around one of them. So, what can free to play and preferred do? Mal, can they do operations?
Nope.
Not at all. Just zip, zilch, zero. So if you want to play operations, you want to be free to play preferred, you cannot. You got to pony up that money to BioWare. However, Mal, can they do war zones? People who don't pay?
Well, I guess they can because my husband doesn't pay and he surely did war zones with me.
So it's a really weird concept. So you can play 10 war zones per character per week if you're on a free to play or preferred account without any restrictions up to 10. But there's a fun little workaround that if you have a friend or a wife, how convenient, who's a subscriber, you can kind of latch on to them and group up with them and go for as many as you want. So it's kind of restricted. And I know we talked about in the past, you like to run a lot of flashpoints. Can free to play and preferred run flashpoints, Mal?
I think so.
Very confused look
They
on your
have
face.
to.
They got it right.
They have to be able to run them or the queue would never pop.
And you've hit the nail on the head of the most amazing point of this topic is, should free-to-play be able to run all this stuff? Should they actually be able to run ops? Should they be able to run more PvP? And we'll be talking about that next. And yes, they can run flashpoints. You're a genius, Mal. You got it.
I'm a genius. You heard it here. She said it. She can't take it back.
So, Mal, I know you have really strong feelings about free-to-play and preferred players when it comes to them asking for things and asking for things they didn't pay for. Did you want to talk a little bit about that?
So I see the Reddit. I see a lot of people. Everybody complains on Reddit. So I see a lot of complaints coming through my feed of this SWTOR. But I see a lot of people who are free to play complaining there because it's free to complain there.
Right, you
because
don't have to pay.
Be subscribed to use the forums. Oh, I learned so much from this lady. So I see people complaining, especially if they have destroyed something by accident or if they've lost something and they want to put in a ticket to get it back or they want to report a bug or something that happened to them and they can't. They can't. And they get very upset that they can't put in a ticket to get their stuff back. Yes, because you get what you pay for, which is nothing. Willy Wonka style, you get nothing.
Nada, zip, zilch. Well, you get a lot, but you don't get free customer support.
You don't.
But what you do get is access to a ton of the game, including flashpoints, so many war zones, and you don't get access to operations. And what's weird is what's fair and what's healthy for the game are two different things when it comes to this topic. I think it's pretty fair that if someone who's putting $0 in, they shouldn't be getting free customer support that actually has to be paid for. But when it comes to group content, Mal, I know you've had a lot of friends who actually have left over the years because they didn't have access to group content anymore. Like they unsubscribed for various reasons. How did that work out for your raiding teams?
Mostly it's the lack of content that turned people off, and they did not want to continue paying the full price of a sub just to run ops with us. And it was definitely a group killer on at least 2 or 3 different occasions.
So for those specific people, do you think if they had had access to Operation for free that they'd still be playing? Or at least raiding
Yes.
still?
Yes, I think they would be if they could go free to play but still play operations. Yes, I think that our raid team might still have been full.
And then the other half of your raid team that was still subscribing, still playing actively and then enjoying it enough to subscribe, they just kind of disbanded, right? It just kind of fell apart.
And some people went to other guilds and other groups for a while. We always seem to go in 3-year cycles where we're together and then we break up and then somebody calls, we're getting the band back together, and we all come back. We're all broken up now.
Does that usually coincide
We'll be
around
back.
like new content coming out, or is it just whenever it makes sense? Yeah. But there was a
Yep.
period in time where you could technically do operations in the game but not be subscribed, right? You guys took a big advantage of those operations passes, right?
We did. I do miss operations passes. And I know that in a In our personal conversations, you asked of me, do you think they'll ever bring operations passes back? They might. I don't really see it happening because I don't think it works anymore with the gear model that they have set up. Because
Right.
we had someone come back to the game and he literally did not understand after playing the game consistently for 6 to 7 years. He's looking at me going, "How do I gear? I don't understand. What do you mean it comes from the ground?" It's too hard to gear without playing the entire game. Do you know how much ops you'd have to run just to get one fully geared character? And then it's such RNG because you have to get, oh, you need the perfect enhancement. You need it to have these stats, and then you need it
Yeah,
for every
it's
piece of gear.
the gearing system right now is the friendliest it has ever been to beginners. To beginners, stop making that face at me. To beginners for nightmare level raiders, so that's a whole different story there. And you're right. The actual system itself is designed so that you gain gear through being a subscriber mainly. You guys could technically just run that person coming back with if they had a ops pass, like super fast, 40 operations in 1 week. I guess it would be kind of a mess, but yeah. The way I remember using the ops passes in the past was someone would already be nightmare mode ready. They'd already have been raiding with us for a while, and for whatever reason, maybe life came up, maybe they're only logging into raid and not doing anything else. They would use that raid pass, or a friend, a subscriber, would buy it for them with leftover cartel coins or credits, and that's how they take advantage of it. Did you guys ever use it that way?
Oh, definitely. Definitely we did. We would just get whoever needed an ops pass for the week. I think it was just one person who needed it. We would just get it for him. It wasn't even a question.
Right, yeah. I think I actually bought some for my husband before we were even dating or anything like that, just because he was a valuable healer to our team and he wasn't as much into SWTOR as he had been when he first started. Um, it does make the monetary model a problem though. If you can raid without paying, and if enough people can raid without paying, then there's too many people not subscribing, I assume. I assume that's why they took it away. Like either if you want to raid, you got to subscribe. Otherwise, you don't get to play that part of the game, like the big hook, the big carrot and stick and stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess. I think you briefly mentioned about what is fair about free to play. Is it fair and is it healthy for the game? And I think it's a very good point to say that free to play is healthy for the game because it brings bodies to the game who might not want to just pay $16.99 for something new to them, unknown to them.
Oh my god, I'm so glad Free to Play and Preferred can play Flashpoints and PvP and Galactic Starfighter because otherwise the queue times would be half as good. And me as a subscriber would get to play them less. I don't care if they're playing. That's a very good thing in my book.
So, my biggest takeaway from this and my biggest issue with free to play is not that it exists. The problem to me is the people who sub get so little in comparison.
It's true. Yeah, they've been trying to work on that. That's kind of why with Galactic Seasons that you were talking about before, there's the two different tracks. They very, very clearly were designing a system where they could reward subscribers in some way rather than just locking out content that already existed. I don't know about you, but yeah, we talked about we got to rank 100. You did last time. I finally did by now. And there's a huge chunk of cartel coins. You get a bunch of cool items that you can't get otherwise. And none of it feels like anything you must or have to do. It's like a perk of being a subscriber is getting these things. But you can still get those free to play and preferred players in your queues, in your flashpoints, in your PvP, in your GSF.
I was very happy to see that. And that was one of the driving factors in me even participating in Galactic Seasons. Because honestly, that is the first time I have seen in this game something like that. Because the daily login rewards is shit I don't want, I don't need, and half the time I get it and I throw it on the fucking floor.
I had about 30
5 social boosts. Are you serious?
I had about 30 days worth of stuff the last month where I forgot to ever even claim it. It got sent to one of my characters. I couldn't figure out which of my 48 characters it went to, and I was like, I don't even care enough to go find it. Right, and the rewards from Galactic Seasons are actually quite cool. They're quite varied, so there's going to be something there for everyone, whether they want the tokens or the cartel coins. You can find something that you like there, and that's cool. I wonder. I don't really know what else they'll be able to offer in the future that helps separate subscribers from those who aren't paying. But I feel like they're going to try and follow that. But no matter what they do, they have to make it so free to play, preferred, can participate in those types of group content that are missing players. Operations are a weird one because at the moment, nobody in Star Wars The Old Republic uses the group finder for operations. Literally nobody on any server. Versus PvP, flashpoints, GSF, they only use the group finder. So if you're going to raid, if you want to raid, I think... Mal, do you think at any point, especially on our server, we're on Starforge, do you think there's people who want to raid but don't see a team going somewhere? Like, I know you might not be able to get that specific raid that you wanted, but I almost always see a group forming in Allies chat. Like, it's not like there's not enough people raiding to join.
I mean, the server definitely has hot times and times where it's pretty dead. Monday night, pretty dead. Except for Taboro's courtyard.
All day, every day, baby. Golden
all day,
chicken.
every day.
TC.
I call it Taboro's snooze fest because it's the most boring 5 minutes to spend in SWTOR.
You're doing it completely wrong. You need to go in with a completely fresh team of fresh level 70s who don't even understand not to go kill all those brown containers around the entire room. That's what makes it fun. No, not the same. All right, okay. I'll keep kidding myself.
We got different opinions on fun. All right.
I'm very curious. It's very hard to know for sure, but if free to play were allowed to do operations, I don't know if it would really reinvigorate the operations scene for those who are actually paying, because most of us have some type of team to run with at some point, or we're brand new players and we haven't found teams yet, period. Like, we haven't started raiding, we haven't found a guild, haven't found a group of friends, and I don't know if a bunch of random free-to-play people joining would even help those players in any way like it does for flashpoints or war zones.
I'm not sure. It's probably not hard to find a group. When our group broke up, I went on the SWTOR forums and just looked to see what guilds were looking for people. Now, it's different for me because I'm experienced.
Exactly. One of the biggest things I hear...
So as soon as I see, I need a nightmare healer, I'm there.
Hello.
But there's Star Wars Discord. There's all kinds of Discords to join where people are looking for groups. Starforge lockouts. There's just the general Starforge Discord that I'm not in anymore because I have.
Oh my goodness! Oh, what did you do? I've been trying to share different resources to help people get into raiding. Like, how do you join your first 5 raids? And the biggest answer is join a guild, because those first 5 raids, a lot of people find raids to join. They join, but then they're not experienced enough, and the group either gets mad at them or kicks them out. Whatever. Those are the people who are actually finding trouble to get into raids, not people like us who could technically just jump into a random nightmare mode and have fun.
You can find some nice groups just by grouping up randomly with people on the fleet. I've made several friends over the years in different guilds, just randomly joining a group on the fleet. Like I said, it is different for me because I have a lot of experience, but if somebody is just doing a story mode and they're shouting for members on the fleet, just go if you want to try it out. It's
That's
story
what
mode,
I'm
and
saying.
story mode is such a
That's
joke.
what
Just
I'm
do it.
saying. People are trying to join these random groups in Gen Chat, and the people get mad at them because they're new, or they're not perfectly 306 or whatever. I'm like, oh my God.
That really
Dumb. So dumb.
I see that people shouting, Eevee story mode must have 306
Right,
gear.
exactly.
Now listen, who needs 306 gear for story mode Eevee? Eevee story mode must have 306 gear. What?
I'm just sitting here rolling my eyes.
It makes me want to just take off all my gear. I want to go. I want to go on that raid just so I can get in the zone, take off all my gear, dance around.
Oh, baby.
You.
So,
what are you going to do now?
I'm going to wrap this up with one last question. With all of that in consideration, do you think we will ever see raid passes, a way to play operations without paying the $16? Do you think we'll ever see them return to the game?
Maybe. but probably not.
Yeah, I've got a big question mark on that one too, just because we have no idea the exact details of the revenue model versus um, letting people pay for free works.
If they brought them back, I bet you'd only be able to buy them on the cartel market and they'd be bind on pickup.
I was about to say, no problem. I'll just use the 4,000 cartel coins I earned through Galactic Seasons. Yeah, that wouldn't even count though. You might as well just buy a subscription at that point. So Mal, I think, is leaning towards a probably not, maybe. I have no idea. There is something you do know a lot about though, Mal, and that's dealing with random people in group content.
This week in You Can't Make This Sith Up, pressing Kolto stations in a group with a fully geared healer. Kolto stations. Wonderful additions to veteran mode flashpoints or an annoyance. In a recent flashpoint excursion, a fully geared, experienced healer, whose name has been redacted to protect her family and friends, found that despite all group members never dropping below 90% health, players would continuously stop what they were doing in order to press the Kolto stations. If a player's health suddenly dropped from 100 to 95%, rest assured that person would immediately interrupt their current action to slow walk to the healing station. Curiously, upon arrival at the station, even if their health had been fully restored by the healer, they would press the panel anyway, and then begin their leisurely walk back to the boss. An even more peculiar phenomenon in this story is that these Kolto stations seem to make people stand in all AoE, conal, cleave, and ground circle damage at all times, turning a simple veteran mode flashpoint into a bloodbath that not even a healer and several Kolto stations could salvage. Perhaps these players were unaware that they had a healer in their group. Perhaps they believed that these curative stations could save them from mechanics. This reporter will leave you tonight with a direct quote from the beleaguered healer. If you're going to stand in all that shit, f*** it, heal yourselves.
And if you can't heal yourselves, well, that's okay. At least you can do one thing right, and that's put your pants on.
Flying solo. Thank you, Scya. Thank you. I do love to put my pants on.
Me too. I like all kinds of pants. I like the kind that have the little knee pads. I like the kind that aren't puffy and they're shaped more like a pair of jeans. Oh, there's so many good ones in the game.
Oh my god, those new ones that came out that they're supposed to look like Obi-Wan Kenobi, those pants look a mess.
What?
When you just wear the pants, without the top, they look like weirdly baggy parachute, half parachute pants. It's very strange. Very strange.
Well, here's your problem. When I told you put your pants on, I didn't mean just the pants. Come on, man. Gotta get the full fashion outfit going.
I care a lot about how my characters look. Do you feel similar?
I have a lot of complicated feelings about that. So I've got like 3 or 4 characters that are dressed to the nines, like full outfits, multiple tabs of outfits, and then the rest, I give them a unique look, but a lot of them are just wearing their set bonus because I was so proud to earn it in the first place. I just slap a die in there and call it a day. I mentioned earlier that I have a ton of characters, but I don't think I could do the full fashion thing with all 40 of them. I would go insane.
Yeah. Do you have ones that are like a joke, too?
No, but I love seeing one of my guildmates is dressed up as the Hulk. It cracks me up every time. They have a big green Mirialan character with the purple pants. And I'm like, yes, you're allowed to be here.
I love stuff like that. Some people get so upset about it. They're like, it's not Star Wars. It's not funny. It's funny. It's so funny.
I actually used to be that kind of person. Don't be mad. I used to be really...
I'm not mad, but I'm glad that you have discovered what funny is.
I used to have a big focus on immersion, but to be fair, when the game first launched, immersion was a huge thing, including in fashion, and that's what this week's topic is for our solo topic. When the game first came out, so many things were restricted by class. that you couldn't wear. Like if you were a Jedi, you couldn't wear something that was for a trooper. There was so many restrictions because they wanted to keep that distinction. But these days, they've understood that players, they play this as escapism. They play this as a form of self-expression with their character, a form of role play, even if they're not like typing up a storm on the role play forums. And being able to dress your character is a huge part of that. I'm so glad they made that switch. I know you have one main character that you really dress to the nines. Did you want to talk about some of her outfits, like what you like to put her in?
Absolutely, absolutely. Mal is my main. Her name is Milena. She's a sage healer, and actually, for a long
Wait a second. Wait a second. I thought Mal was just your nickname. Full stop. I've been thinking like Mal, it's bad for the Latin this entire time. You're telling me that your name is not short for bad?
I'm not bad. I just sound that way.
You're bad to the bone.
Yeah. No,
Sorry, go ahead and tell me about your character.
it got shortened. My name was Milena in the game, but everybody called me Mal from day one. So there it is. It stuck. Mal's very first outfit when they rolled out stuff on the cartel market was the Outrider's flight jacket.
Oh, what's that one look like? Is that a little crop top kind of thing?
No, it's like a jacket. It's like a pilot's jacket. It's a very modern looking, actually. It looks like kind of like a brown motorcycle jacket kind of thing.
Oh,
with a
nice.
bandolier kind of thing across the top. That's actually very smuggler looking, so I thought it would be pretty cool to put her in that. And then they came out with the Darth Scion Set, and black and red are my favorite colors. And even though she's not a Sith, she is a Jedi. That fit was just too cool.
Am I going to harp on you again about how you don't know what Knights of the Old Republic is? Did you know that outfit is worn by one of like the scariest cracked up Sith you have ever seen?
Really?
I just realized you wouldn't know that. Like this guy, this Darth Scion guy, he is literally so damaged that he is held together by the Force.
Wow.
Held together with the dark side of the Force, one of the most bad Sith of the time.
Don't let go, dude. Damn. Float away.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got this on your Jedi in the black and red because you like the colors. I really like the top of that outfit. It's got like kind of a bandeau, kind of like a bikini without straps, and it's got a bunch of wrappings around the tummy. But we need to talk about that shoulder piece and your fashion sense related to
I
it.
know. The rest of it looked so cool, though. Just gotta brush my shoulder off. I had to forgive it because it just looked really good. It looked really good on her. She's got red hair. It used to be a short cut, and then they came out with the jersey hair. I call it the jersey hair because it's like long, but kind of got some volume to it on the top.
Is that the big messy hair? The big messy curly hair? Kind of curly?
No, it's the long hair with the bangs. I don't know. For Star Wars, it looked like Joycey hair to me.
Do you have a bunch of different outfits for her? Do you mostly just use the same one?
No, actually, what I wear the most on her was when they came out with the sensuous dress outfit.
That was so pretty.
I put the top on her, and at the time I had boots from Oricon that have this it has a decoration coming off the back of the boot that almost looks like wings.
Yeah, it's like a little dagger or a wing. Yeah, there you
Looked
go.
like a little wing, and they looked so cool. And I dyed the top green and yellow just to see as I was clicking through dyes. And with her red hair, I said, oh my God, she looks like Jean Grey. So then I made the pants and the sash. And I've got the mask that came from, I think, the EC era. It's like a bandit mask.
So you've got a halfway cosplay going on there.
It is a full way cosplay.
Full way.
Because I also carry with me the glowing gold eyes.
Oh my God.
And then I love to wear that outfit, put on the glowing eyes, and then pop myself up in the SOA rest item.
So I need to hook you up with my friend who dresses up like the Hulk. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, it's great. And on Mal 2, I'm dressed like Jade and Katana from Mortal Kombat.
Oh, right. We were talking about this earlier. You had the Ajunta Paul mask, right?
Yep.
That's one of the most expensive masks in the game, I swear.
Also on Mal, the Descendant Heirloom Saber.
That's the really, really big one, but really fancy, right?
I don't think it's super big. It has a very fancy hilt.
It is. It's twice as big as almost any other lightsaber in the game. Mainly because of that crazy hilt it has.
All right, so my lightsaber's bigger than your lightsaber.
Oh, I don't even have a lightsaber. I'm a trooper.
We don't have to fight about it. We can be friends.
I'm just a trooper, man. What can I say?
She also used to use the Tythonian Force Master lightsaber.
Oh, and that one had all the sparkly stuff attached to it, right?
Yeah, that came out of, I think, the very first cartel packs they ever released.
So you do not hold back when it comes to your credits in your fashion, do you?
I absolutely do not.
I want to talk about that a little bit about I mentioned earlier that it's a form of self-expression to dress up your character, and it feels like so much of the options are locked behind cartel stuff or really expensive stuff like white dyes and black dyes are like kind of a staple of the fashion and they're super expensive, and it's become such a canon thing that they're expensive that Zakul, the city of riches, literally all the citizens are wearing like black and white dyes if you're wandering around Zakul.
Are they really?
Yes, you'll notice like some of them are wearing less expensive outfits, but almost all of them are like all in white or all in black. And I'm like, oh, this is just reinforcing the stereotype that you had to pay credits to look good.
God. Tax the rich.
Well, that would be you.
That's fine.
We-
I pay all my taxes. The GTN gets all the taxes they want from me. Unless I buy the tax evasion guild perk.
Oh, yeah. You should invest in that one. That way the poor free-to-play players can't afford their helmet unlocks.
I do love the tax evasion, though. I always message people, hey guys, tax evasion's on in the guild buffs.
Wait a second. That's not a joke. That's an actual thing you can get.
That's a buff on the guild ship called tax evasion.
Oh my god. I didn't know that was a thing. We always just put it in the useful stuff. Apparently that is useful.
Yeah, and it decreases the amount of tax you pay on the GTN.
No way. That still sounds like a joke. I still feel like you're messing with me.
It is not a joke. And it has different levels as well. It has tax evasion, I think level 1, 2, and 3.
With all those credits that you save, I'm sure you don't have infinite credits, but it sounds like you have quite a bit. Is there any item that you could buy but you don't have right now that you really want? Like any new cartel market item or anything like that?
No, I don't think so. The only thing I bought recently that came out in the last couple months from the cartel market was the Exiled Padawan Set.
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah, I decided I really needed the boots. The boots on it are actually really nice. So I had bought a pair of the boots previously, but then I decided maybe I'd like to wear these boots on another character. Maybe I need to unlock this in collections. And then I went back, collections. So I went back and bought the entire armor box and then sold the spare pair of boots.
You're like, here you go. Take these.
The boots they sell for a lot. It's still very expensive. And I bought the boots a couple months ago. So.
And they just went up in price since then. So it was an investment, is what you're telling me.
It was, actually. I have a lot of old cartel stuff I have sitting. I have bays and bays of it, and I call it my stock investments.
I had a player recently I was talking to. They had some old items, and I was telling them about them. Like, yeah, these aren't bound. You can sell them. And they're like, oh my god, I have 5 of them, and they're worth like 15 mil each. I was like, yes, that's you left the game. You let those rare items sit, and now they're worth 15 million credits. Woohoo! There's lots of items that you can just buy. You just need a lot of credits. Is there anything that you have earned in some way that you think cosmetically looks really good that you're super proud of?
I'm not sure if I earned it, but I do have a couple things that are very, very old, a couple old named weapons. In fact, on my Merc, I have a gun called the Equalizer.
Oh, that's freaking sweet. Yeah, they used to have all those the weapons. They're not necessarily amazing to look at, but they have these super cool, unique names.
I have Justice.
That's a good one, too.
The lightsaber Justice.
And you can't get these anymore, right? They just don't drop for whatever reason.
Mm-mm.
I think that happened when they tried to make it so gear dropped with what made sense based on your level, and it just kind of wiped out some of the old unique stuff by accident.
Scya, do you have a favorite armor set?
Oh my god. I obsess about the armor. I don't have a favorite, though. I like to dress up my characters as their class. Like, you'll never catch my trooper wearing Jedi armor ever. It's just not going to happen. But I do have quite a few trooper armors I really, really like. I tend to go through them in cycles. Like, I don't really have multiple outfits. But I tend to be like, this is her outfit right now in the story based on the current sets of gear that are out. Here's one that will be for her based on her being the Eternal Emperor at the moment. Here's one for her returning to the planet of Osis to go help the Jedi there. But they're all super troopery. They're all super canon looking. Like if you saw this trooper in a movie or a TV show, you'd be like, yeah, that's definitely a Star Wars trooper. And maybe the only thing that changes is the color. There was some really nice one that came out on the cartel market recently. I forget the name, but it's a very clearly trooper focused set. And I was wearing it for a while, but I ended up just going back to my old favorite armor because I was so used to it. I didn't want to change. Back in the day, when new expansions came out, there would always be class-specific armor. Like the first expansion, Makeb, there would be a brand new set of trooper armor, brand new set of Jedi armor, one for each class. It was only after that that they started kind of merging them together more, so you'd have kind of a theme rather than per class. But oh man, back in the day, I would so look forward to seeing what is the new trooper armor set. Like the Shadow of Revan trooper armor set was great. It was like this big, bulky trooper looking thing that looked like you could probably run into a wall and not take any damage. Yeah, I just dressed them really thematically. Like all my Jedi look like Jedi, my smugglers look like smugglers. Do you dress yours based on the class, or do you not really care? Apart from Mal, who is apparently dressed like a Sith Lord.
Yeah, because she's a consular, and that stuff was terrible. Terrible. So excited to get endgame gear back when you couldn't wear what you wanted and you had to wear the gear the game gave you if you wanted to wear the gear in Ops.
Are we talking about one of the best gear sets that was ever released in the game right now?
You bet your ass we're talking about my fan hat and my banana gloves in my ricotta set.
Oh, yeah. So where did you get it, and why is it the best set in the game?
Where did that thing come from? Did it come from
I think it was
and KP?
Yeah, it was like Kalumi or ricotta or something like that. I want to say it was Kalumi.
Oh, yeah.
Because I went and got some of that. I didn't even have really a Jedi console I was playing, but I wanted that hat.
The hat was absolutely ridiculous. Looks like a giant fan. Don't go outside if it's windy.
In October.
Only do your ops inside. You might blow away.
Because they took a lot of inspiration from the Star Wars movies, especially at first. And I think the Jedi Consular stuff was meant to be based on kind of Padme Amidala, Queen Amidala, and all her fancy outfits. But I don't know if they had the technology or the skill to actually design them as well as an intricate. So they just made them big, large, banana, fan. And if you were a Jedi Consular, you had to wear it.
It was horrifying. I find a lot of this stuff in SWTOR. It would have been better if somebody had said, yep, that's it, it's done, that's enough. And someone in design go, no, let me add just one more thing. Just one more thing.
We have to make it stand out. It has to look different.
No, they should have been stopped. Stop it. Turn off their computer. Take their pen. Stop adding shit on the shoulders. On that note, we're going to move on from fashion now, and Scya is going to bring us the news. You heard it here last.
When it comes to news this week, there isn't really a lot going on. We're kind of in the lull time before the actual expansion comes out. So for events, the new event calendar isn't quite out yet. The next big one will be the Feast of Prosperity, which is a once per year event. Hopefully should be coming at the end of October, and the Life Day event will be coming halfway through December if they stick to their old schedules that they had previous years. There's a little update on that screenshot contest that will be lasting until October 5th that you can find on SWTOR.com. If you happen to be running on a really big resolution or monitor, don't worry, you can submit the larger sizes. You don't have to be a 1920 resolution. Galactic Seasons is officially over for this season. Galactic Seasons 1 is done. Galactic Seasons 2 will be out with the next expansion, which should be in holidays 2021. We don't have a date. Something cool we do have a date for, though, we just got as we're recording this, is the Boba Fett series. Will be out on December 29th. So I'm wondering how that will mesh with the expansion date, where that will sit. And lastly, for the test server, we have the Jedi Knight, Imperial Agent, and Sith Inquisitor up for testing, and we're waiting for that final class of either the Trooper or the Bounty Hunter to come up there so we can see what they all look like for 7.0. Outside of Star Wars The Old Republic, we've been checking out another piece of Star Wars media, and that's been Star Wars Visions. This is a series of very short episodes. They're unrelated to each other, short stories in the style of Japanese anime. And this is available on Disney Plus to watch. There's currently 9 episodes, and me and Mal have watched a little past halfway through each. So Mal, first question when it comes to Visions, did you ever watch anime when you were younger? Is this a style you're familiar with?
Yes, I have seen anime before. I have definitely watched Sailor Moon, Neon Genesis, Evangelion, that sort of thing. Not a whole lot, but yes, I am familiar.
Yeah, so this is probably absolutely aimed at someone like you who knows the style, who enjoyed it enough to watch a couple things, and I'm in the same boat. It's something I used to really enjoy when I was younger, so I was super intrigued when I saw the trailer that came up a while ago, and they were showing all these crazy clips of what was going on. So I have really mixed feelings about Visions. We're not going to go too much into spoilers. Is that okay? We don't know who's seen it or not yet.
Yeah, I agree with you about that. And to keep this truly spoiler free,
Isn't that nice of us?
you can listen to this discussion in the Mal and Saya's Hot Take fake podcast, found on the same platforms as the actual podcast.
Which we're so excited about. We actually got them up on pretty much every platform now. Now we return to you to our regularly scheduled programming. Mal?
Well, hilariously enough, Saya, that's all we have for today. Real slow news, day, week, time to be alive in SWTOR.
Great news. More news coming next week. Bye, everybody. Have a great week.
Farewell, podcast listening people.
You've been listening to the Star Forge podcast with Scya and Mal. We know you have your choice of podcasts, and you chose the right one. For show notes and other information, visit starforgepodcast.com and hit us up on Twitter at StarForgeCast. We'd love to hear from you. Listen in with Google or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or on Swtorista's YouTube channel. New episodes drop every Friday, so mark your calendar and come join the party. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
That was not a good segue.
I thought
Why do I write them for you and I don't write myself a fucking segue?
you want me to do a segue for myself?
No, that's stupid.
Okay. I'll do the events now.